But you can stay and party with us. Just take a shot of Patron, and let me know when you get enough. You know the rhythm is on, and everybody's feeling the buzz. You ain't gotta go home, cause you can stay and party with us. Yeah, you can stay and party with us. Yeah, you can stay and party with us. Yeah, you can stay and party with us.
Hey y'all!
It took a minute for it to pop. I was like, what's going on?
I did it. I actually did it this morning. I was like, I don't know why your computer's running slow, but that's all right. That's why I'm here.
Thank you. Thank you for the message. Well, hello, everybody. Welcome to Sunday Brunch with Black Tea. I thank you guys for joining us at the table today, honey. Every first and third Sunday, we really appreciate you guys joining us at the table, having brunch with us, and having some good conversation. Today we have a really good topic for you guys. I think you guys are gonna love this topic for today. But before we jump into that, we want to first lady say hello. We have us all three here today. First it was me and California Cutie, then it was me and Candy. Now it's all three of us. So
right,
we're
back together again. We're back together again, right?
Yes, we're all back together again, and that's awesome. So I'm really excited about today's show. So well, before we get started with the hot topic, honey, we have to definitely talk about what we have for brunch today.
Yes.
You know, brunch doesn't always have to consist of eggs and bacon and sausage and grits and pancakes and waffles. Brunch is brunch. It's brunch and it's breakfast and lunch. So today, I did a little something different. As you guys know, whoever joined us last weekend, I did a dessert. Well, today I went on ahead and I dove into a little bit of something different. I did a fish and grit, and this is a baked fish with grits, and I add a little bit of cucumber for a little bit of just a little touch of something. I was going to do hummus and pita, but instead I did some sliced cucumbers, and you can season those with a little bit of chili lime. You can use it with some hummus on the side with the cucumbers. It's absolutely delicious. But the baked fish, I hope y'all can see that it got a whole lot of stuff in it. I just added white and black sesame seeds. You just use breadcrumbs, put a little bit of mix everything in the breadcrumbs. Mix the sesame seeds in the breadcrumbs, mix all your seasons in the breadcrumbs. Just a little bit of basil in there and a little bit of rosemary, and then put your salt and pepper in there, or your season, whatever seasons you want. Pack it on there. I try not to use that the fish fry that you buy because it's real like cornmeal-ish to me. But depending on how it's cooked, some people can really slay it. But this is it. And then I put this in the air fryer and cooked it. So I know my fish slices aren't really pretty, but sometimes they don't come out too pretty. But they just whip up some nice grits, put it on the side, and add anything extra that you would like. These are just some basic main dishes, that you can actually have, and you can add anything you want, fruits or anything, but it's easy. It's something different. A lot of people like fish, and this is cod. I love cod fish, so this is what I did with some cucumbers. So I think that's a really good one. If you're sitting down with your girls, you want something light, or even your family, anybody, men, women, children, anybody, sitting down with them, want something light, something easy, something fun to cook, go ahead and throw that in there. I think you'll like it. You guys will like it.
Stacy says she finna jump through the screen.
I know that's it's really good
and tempting, right?
I'm sorry. I just want to say hi to Stacy, and I want to say hello to Miss Karen. Hey, Karen.
Hey.
Yeah, that's one of the mothers of the show, y'all. That's Miko's mom. So hello. Welcome, ladies. Yes, and I agree with the jump through the screen because I am too. You need something, baby? Here. I was gonna make fish today too. Me and Miko was kind of on the same page as far as making fish. So I actually have made fish today too. I didn't even think about like putting cornmeal or anything. Or breading it at all. I just, why? when I think of breakfast or brunch, I don't think about bread in it. I feel like it needs to be like solid or by itself or stand alone, just the fish itself. So I'm gonna bring up my picture because I did make fish. I like this. This is just some tilapia. A lot of people, I'm just went back to tilapia because I found out what tilapia. What? Yes. Hold on 1 second, y'all. Give me one second. Miko, say something. Talk about something real quick.
Okay, guys. Well, while California Cutie is
I'm back.
We
One of my kids. Sorry. One of my kids is asking me something. I'm like, what? So anyway, so I just went back to the tilapia because I found some stuff out about tilapia what I didn't know. But at the same time, it's like, man, I eat cow, I eat shrimp, I eat all kind of other stuff. So I'm not gonna let what I think and feel mess with what I like. So this is a piece of tilapia, just fried on both sides, and some probably some Pam, not no butter, maybe a little bit of garlic. I use Creole seasoning because I love the Creole seasoning when I do fish. Some lemon pepper and a little bit of garlic and onion powder. And then the potatoes over here are just some regular potatoes, kind of smothered. I didn't want to smother them. I like to fry them, but I was cooking them fast, so they're a little smothered with some kielbasa sausage in it. And fish is always good and paired with an orange slice. I don't know if when you guys go to fish market, they usually put an orange slice with it. So,
yeah,
I had to throw on a piece of orange slice with that thing. Yay! So but I had told Miko that I was gonna do grits and eggs, and went in my pantry and wasn't a grit to be found. So I said, you know what? We gonna push that on up.
Okay.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, I can cook again. I mean, I don't want you guys out there thinking that I can't cook. I can. I just be pressed for time.
Yes, she can cook.
And the funny thing is, I wanted to cook shrimp and grits. I didn't even know that grits was going to be the thing. I was ready to cook shrimp and grits. Although I'm still going to cook it. I'm just going to take a picture and post it the next
Well,
time.
you know what? I didn't think it was going to be the thing either. So when me and California was talking this morning, I was like, you know what? I threw the grits in there this morning. I was because I had a whole different meal that I had prepared for, and then I woke up this morning and said, you know what? I think I'm gonna cook that fish in there. I took it out the thaw. I was gonna cook it this evening. And I was like, I'm just gonna cook it now. So something different. But next time, how about next time we'll coordinate and we all can make the same dish, our own versions.
Yeah, we'll do that.
Okay.
I'm mad. Well, I mean, that's cool and all, but if I can't taste y'all's, what difference does it make? I want to taste y'all.
Right? Well, there's more than one way to make something, so we want to see. That's the idea. The different version. We put the ingredients out, Miko. You put the ingredients, and then we just kind of make it the way that we're gonna make it, right?
Okay, we can do that. Y'all look it out, and then we can bring it to the table and let everybody see what we've come up with in our own kitchens and everything.
Okay.
But just so you all know, yes, Candy can cook one day.
Right.
She gonna put something on the screen for us.
Yeah, one day.
We know she is. We gonna give her a minute though,
She was praising the Lord, y'all. She was at church. So that's
right. We was on her prayer list this morning, so she gets the pass.
Right.
She gets the pass, honey. Praise the Lord, hallelujah. Yes.
That part. That part.
But anywho, so thank you guys again for joining us at the table. Today we got a really cool, interesting topic. And if anybody read the description, you would kind of know what I'm getting ready to what we're getting ready to dive into. And the whole and I didn't really know much about it. This young lady, what's her name? California Cutie?
Drea.
I had to go look it up. I don't watch reality TV. I'm not a.
She's not on reality TV no more anyway. So she's not on right now, but she was part of it. Okay. She's not part of the franchise anymore. I meant to tell you that. I meant to tell you that. Go ahead.
And then I had, for some reason, I don't really I need to be on Instagram. I need to be on social media more, but I don't be on that much. But I do need to be on so I can follow hot topics, news, and all that.
It's on there whether you want to hear about it or not.
Right. But so funny, I'll get on there and I'll look at different artists and event designers and all kind of other people throw stuff up there. But then I click myself right back out. I don't know why, but I need to really follow a lot more news and things like that so I can be up on point with these hot topics. But I did do my research and I did find out the information about Miss Drea and what's going on. So the topic basically for today is, is it okay, or do you feel like it's okay for an older woman to date a younger man? Now, I know that this lady went a little bit further with her situation, but it goes into stuff like that. It goes into marriage and kids and things like that. So, do you think? What do you think about? Because the topic is about dating younger men, but specifically, California Cutie wanted to talk about Drea and that situation. So I'm gonna let her take it over and bring it to y'all.
So here's the thing. Drea is she's the former basketball wife, never married to a basketball player. Drea, when she was on the show, at that time, she only had one child. We didn't really see that child, right? And then she ended up having another child. This baby now is like 6. The child, when she was on Basketball Wives, is now about 21, I think. Yeah. It's about 21 or 22, somewhere around there. So with Drea's dating an NBA star or NBA player that pretty much just made it into the league, and he's a 22. So the problem is not so much specifically to Drea. It's not even a problem because it's not a problem in her life. So I don't want to say that as a problem for her because evidently she's happy. So Drea is pregnant with a 22-year-old NBA player's baby. Now, the problem there, the thing is, the issue with people is that Drea is 38 years old. She's 38. He's 22. 39. Okay, she's 39. Sorry, 39. He's 22. And then she has this 21-year-old son. So that puts another stigma on it. That puts a whole nother spin on it. So our topic today is, for me, it's not even about just a woman dating younger. Is there a disadvantage to dating a younger person, woman or male, for me? Or, is there a stigma behind dating older or younger? And how old is too old and how young is too young? Those kind of things have came up. But we did want to touch on Drea because for me, I have a 28-year-old son. I am 51. For me, I wouldn't want to date somebody, God forbid something happens to my husband. I wouldn't want to really go date somebody in my son's age group because I look at him, I would look at them on the same level as my son. No disrespect, my son is an adult, but he's still, I raised him. I raised him, So for me, I just feel like we have things in common. We do, not a lot. Right. We're from through different age dynamics, so I just don't feel like, we all the same age if we laying down and doinking, you know what I mean? We all the same age. But after that, what are we doing?
Yeah, what after that? After the morning after, how we say, right? The morning after, what are we doing? Right? What are we really doing?
What are we saying? What does that look like? And then, I had to pull some things up about just to get y'all know. Now, here's the thing. I do feel like age should not be a barrier for love or companionship. It should not. Age should not be like I said, me and my son, we have a relationship. We have things that are in common. So that should not be because he's younger than me. I should be like, well, you're just way too young, or be disrespectful in that manner. So I do feel like we shouldn't put so much on the age. And it does matter to me, person to person, couple to couple, because you might have a very mature 20-year-old.
That's true.
A very mature, educated 20-year-old that's dealing with somebody that's 10 years older than them. Mm-hmm. And it might work because of their maturity level. So it just kind of varies from couple to couple, case by case
to certain situations. So for me, I think the big hoopla and the issue is not so much the age. Well, the age is because it's a big age gap. We're not talking within a 10-year up or down, right? We're talking about 21. And we're talking about, like you said, someone who's the same age as her son, her child, right? And so, but if we just really be real, it's really not even about that. It's about the come up that she has with this young guy. So did she manipulate him? Is she, and when you look at it across the board, she's been in the industry and she has a reputation. And so about the come up. And so really, she got with a young person who's the same age as her son. And, people have an issue with it is because you kind of trapped this young boy. And now you got a payday when you have this relationship, because the relationship is not going to work. Right. I mean, all the, I can't say, I would say, allegedly, but I don't have a crystal ball, but I mean, just the cards are stacked against that situation kind of working out for the long haul, right? And so when we look at it, who's really benefiting from this? You benefited. Why would you have a child? You set yourself up to get impregnated by him. And so even if there's plenty of people who are not celebrities, who are not in the limelight, who've had this men, where you have older men and younger women, and that's not so much talked about, because usually when you have an older man, a younger woman is kind of looking for stability and all that type of stuff, and he know what he's getting. He knows he's taking care of a younger woman. When it's vice versa, usually the older woman will be, I guess, in the same frame of mind where she's kind of taking care of a younger man. This situation is different because she's older and he's younger.
He got the money, but he got the money.
And so did she really trap him? And that's really what the hoopla is about. Did she trap him? And how dare you? That's kind of gross. He's the same age as your son. And so, and then for me, it's that, and it's like, well, where's people in his camp that kind of couldn't tell him, like, hey, have your fun. You know what I mean? And even if, for me, it was like, when I think about it, and I think about, like, so how Stella got her groove back, even if it was that, and you was just, dipping and dabbing in that because you wanted that sexual gratification. Okay, but then you set yourself to get pregnant by this young man. So it's really about to come up for me. And I feel like that's where she did that deliberately and on purpose.
I mean, it's possible. I know I've been reading a lot of people saying they think that she did it to, to come up off of him. Like, again, I don't really know this young lady, so I can't really say too much about her. But I do know that a lot of, and the other conversation was, so I was watching The View, and it's so funny because The View actually talked about this exact topic. I was like, hey, I guess everybody knows about it. And
that's what's true. Mm-hmm.
Three of the ladies on The View are all married to younger men. They're all married to younger men. They're not that much younger than like this young man is, but they're younger. I think the biggest age gap was 7 years, and the rest of them was 5 and I think 3. But the biggest age gap was 7 years between one. So, and then Whoopi was saying how she dated a lot of younger men too, but then she dated older men. So I guess I don't really have it doesn't really bother me either way. I wouldn't personally date anyone my son's age. That's my preference. I don't feel comfortable, dating someone and my son is 29. So I definitely wouldn't date anybody, that young. But I say that, is there a double standard? Is there, men can date really young girls and no one says too much about it? They might say, girl, you don't want that old man. But the fact of the matter is they don't say much about it. But when the woman dates a really younger, man, then it's like, oh, no, child. So is it okay for the man? And this was a question that they brought up on The View. Is it okay for a man to date someone his kid's age and everybody give it a pass versus a woman dating someone as young as her kids? Why can't she have a pass? Now, again, I think that's kind of young for me, but I don't want to judge anyone else for their decisions unless their decisions was, intended to be something that is malicious. You know what I'm saying? Like you said, maybe she's setting this young man up or whatever.
That's the difference. That's the difference in the scenario. That's the pretty much what's the difference in it.
Right.
For us on the outside looking in, it looks like she's trying to have a cash cow. She's trying to make sure that her son is going, or she's having a girl. She has 2 sons. She wanted a baby girl. She got her baby girl. And we are living in a new age where women are starting to have their own babies without having fathers, or getting artificially inseminated, whatever the case may be. So it's not that big of, when you really look at the thing of it, it's really not that big of a deal. I know years ago, I had just had my daughter. My dad is 20 years older than me, and he told me then, so and I don't think, I mean, after he was single, but he was like, I wouldn't date nobody your age. And I was like, I would hope not.
Right.
I would hope not, Dad. Like, I'm only 20 years younger than you. And no, I wouldn't want somebody my age bouncing around you. No. Because in my head, I'm thinking, she's thinking, yeah, he's going to take care of me. That's what the thing is. Usually, when you think of an older person dating a younger person, you think of the older person being financially stable to take care of this person. But then you also, on that flip side, say, is this younger person using that person? Is that the here's another mentality.
Well, oftentimes
they always say that when the woman is younger and she's dating a really financially stable older man, then it's like, oh, she's a gold digger, she's only with him for the money, yada yada yada. But now this is a whole flip scenario. The man is younger, the woman is older, but the man is still financially stable, and it's, and she's older. You look, and they also mentioned too. They were talking about the fact that, hey, women mature faster than men, so sometimes a younger man wants that older person to guide him through making sure he makes good decisions, like in life with his money, his finances, and everything, because she knows, she's lived, she's older, she can help him be stable.
Yes.
Well, I agree with that, and I think that the other thing is that Dre is a very attractive woman, and she does not really necessarily look her age. She does look like she can be in her, her late 20s, early 30s, and so I think that's right. So that's some of it too. I said, but when we think about the age difference and why it's a double, there are double standards, and unfortunately, those are just, it is what it is. And when we think about men, and when you say being that financially stable and being with younger women, that's a given. The men know what they're signing up for, because not only is that woman's coming up on financial gain, but he's coming up for something too. He's getting what he wants. He's getting an attractive woman that he wants to have as arm candy. She's usually parade around. So it's a give and take. My issue is when you said, hey, is it okay when we look at men with younger women? Nah, not necessarily, because age, like, you should not be with somebody that is the same age as your granddaughter and or your child. I said, no, if we can eliminate that, whether I think for both sexes, then I'm okay with it, because you guys are knowing what you're dealing. The other thing is that what are you guys really in it for? Because what do you really have in common? Right? Because when you start thinking about life and what you guys are doing together, you don't want to have to explain to him about the 90s, because he wasn't there. And so when you're that, or you are with your colleagues or your friends and family, they can't really chime into that. So it's that's what a lot of times is it's a momentary times that you're going to be together, limited time, and then other times, like I said, you know what you sign up for. So if that older man is with a younger woman and they have whatever they have agreement, they already know what they're doing, and so a lot of times it's arranged and it's understood, like you said, what they're doing outside of that relationship, because it's an agreement usually with them. And her situation, she got to come up. We got to call it.
What do you think? Okay, so what do you think about the old? So when you have an older woman that's financially stable, right, like the older man would be, and she's dating a much younger man by choice. Now I'm saying that to say, once I jumped into this, I looked up other stuff. So Cher,
I got that too.
Was younger than her, and she basically was like, the men her age, they don't want to have fun, they don't want to go out, they don't want to do nothing. So she dates with men that are still on her level, because to her, she's still vibrant,
young and vibrant, right.
And she's still living, she still wants to party and have fun. So, but the men her age, they're like, need to be taken care of. Not all of them, but it's right. Need to be taken care of. Don't want to go out the house, want to sit down to do anything, but she wants to still have fun. So on the flip side, you got a woman that's older that is financially stable, and then you have the younger man, which is what they call our cougars, because they call an older woman that got money with a younger man a cougar. Right. So it's like, okay, well, if the woman is a cougar, what is the man? Is that acceptable? It's like, does it only have to be older man, younger woman to make
No,
it
I think the same principle applies. Like she knows what she's getting into it. She knows it's a financial, more or less, it's a financial arrangement. Because even if it doesn't end that way, or it definitely starts off that way. Because you talk about having fun. Who's paying for everything, right? And so it's usually the person with the means, which is the older person, whether it's the man or the woman. They're paying for everything. So the feelings sometimes do get established, and I'm not saying that they cannot be in love, but normally it doesn't start off that way. It's something that kind of necessarily grow into, and then sometimes, like you said, they have an arrangement. If it's sex, if it's money, whatever the case may be, they're getting fulfilled. Both parties are being fulfilled, and neither one of them are being naive. The situation with this, I feel like he has been bamboozled. So did he think that he was, because it's kind of like he's getting looked at from his peers and older generation as being a fool. Like, hey, you don't even have, and this is not my opinion. This is just from what I'm seeing from social media, is that they looking at him like, you think you got a prize? Like she's a has-been, or she's been ran through, she's been all that. So you don't even have, she might look like she's that for you, but nobody really wants her. That's what's kind of being said. Like,
I don't agree with none of that. I don't agree with none of that man talk. I know you're not. I know you're not saying that's your opinion. I'm saying I don't care about them men. Those men are the same men that still will have her. They still want her, and will run behind and know that she's been with your homeboy, all the basketball players, all the NFL players, Usher, Chris. Oh no, not Usher. She was with Chris Brown. Dre has been attached to a lot of high-profile people, industry people. Right. So when men do that, shut up. Nobody, because you still that same man will do the same thing. So
want her,
he's not ran up. What she is experienced and had sex with who she wanted to, just like y'all do. And it's a double standard when y'all think we hoes for doing it. We not hoes for doing it. Y'all hoes. If we hoes for doing it, so are you. Right. It's no difference.
For real.
It's no difference.
That's the one thing I hate is they say as soon as see, the sad part about it is that unfortunately because of who she is, her private life has been exposed. But what about the ones that don't have exposed private lives, and they the ones calling their names, and you probably have more sexual partners or more different types of experiences than that woman did. You can't call her a name because based on what you seeing in the media, because your life is probably the same way or worse. And the other thing is, I think a lot of these young ladies are probably jealous because she got that young basketball player and you probably wanted him. So,
but it's funny. So we're talking about Drea, right?
Yeah.
So when you talk about, right after Drea, you know who came out? And I can't remember her name. She's Bow Wow's ex, and she came. What was her, Chloe Chavez, or I can't remember her name.
I can't think of her name, but I know that
child mom. Well, she came out. She's doing the same exact thing, and announced that she's pregnant right after Drea did, and so she's having that same type of response to what she's doing because she went after a younger person too, and she's actually pregnant by him. And so I just say that it's almost it's just a double standard because based off of them doing it to deliberately have a payday, and that's why it's being looked and frowned upon. But if it was in any other situation, it wouldn't be looked at that way. You know what I mean? If they were the ones with the means, now I'm gonna say if they were the ones with the means and taking care of the younger person, I don't think we would be having this conversation. We would just be like, oh wow, like a share thing, like oh she's taking care of a younger guy. Matter of fact, just because of the whole age thing, and this topic has been going around because of them two, it's being so publicized. I've seen like a clip on one of the judge shows where the judge asked a woman, what is your age difference? Because obviously it's a clear age difference. And she asked the woman was like, oh, about 20 years or so. And she asked the guy, he actually put it in, was like, actually it's a 40-year difference. So this woman is 64 years old and messing with a 22-year-old man. And so I was like, wow, you would never. What
about the younger men that like older women? What about those younger guys that prefer older women?
I don't have a problem with people have a preference, and it's clear to us. And they say that. Well, I've always dated older men. I mean, an older woman. I've always liked an older woman. I don't particularly see a problem with that. The problem that, like I said, the issue specifically is, I think, more so that she's having a child and she has a child at that age. We pull that out of that, when now we're talking just in general, I don't think there's a big stigma when it comes to 10 years apart. Let's just say 10 or under.
Yeah.
You're 10 years older than me, or I'm 10 years younger than you. That's not the significant big difference. Nobody's, micro dissecting that. It becomes a problem when you're 15 to 20 years older and above. And for this, and I don't know if y'all know this, but they say 8% of heterosexual marriages have a 10-year gap or more. 8%. But check this out. Check this out. Huh? It's only 1%, one, in the age gap couple involving older women as the partner. So 7% of that is the older man to the younger woman.
Right.
1% of that is the other way around.
Because
but even with that being said,
the man is supposed to be older. That's how you taught when you growing up, the man is supposed to be older. That's how we are told, when we're kids. We're not necessarily groomed as young women to say it's okay to date someone younger than you. Because if we were, you think about it, when you in high school and stuff, you in the 12th grade, no 12th grade senior, or one day no freshman, or you know what I'm saying? You're like, I'm not dating.
Unless you're the guy. The guy will. A 12-year senior guy will date a ninth grader girl. Right. But a senior girl is not dating no ninth grader because one, we smarter, more mature than they are in our brain. We're more mature than they are, and it takes them a little longer to catch up to us. So yeah, that's why that doesn't work in high school.
You know what, too, it'll be interesting because you said in that scenario, the 8%, that the 7% of them were men. Even the 1% of those women, the women were the one with the financial means, right? There never was. It'll be interesting that even out of that 1%, what was the percentage of the women where that age gap where the woman was older and the man was younger, of the man actually being financially more stable than that?
That's a good question.
Small.
That's a good question.
The issue is that she's messing with somebody that much younger. It's the same as I think it's two. It's a double fold. It's the fact that he's the one with the financial means, and the fact that the same age as her son. So I mean that's the issue.
So last night I was doing a client's house. This is relatives too. I was at a client's house, and I was telling her that I was going to be live today and what our topic was, and we had brought up Dre as well. And she was telling me that she knows a lady that she works with. I think this lady is 42, just had a baby for an 18-year-old. I'm like, what? And she's like, that's like, what? Like, how do you even meet? How does an 18-year-old meet a 42-year-old to even talk to them? Like, how do you?
So,
but.
Go ahead.
Look, go ahead, Candace. What you gonna say?
No, I was saying that. So what hasn't been talked about a lot is that we hear about statutory rape when it comes to men and women. It's being talked about, and more so in our age group, right? Because it's kind of like frowned upon for you to be going for somebody like 20 years old or 30 years old. You going with a teenager, right? But our parents, when they were younger, that was the thing. But the other thing is that nowadays, the women teacher who are in their 30s and 40s, they are going after those teachers, those students. And that's what's been actually a lot talked about a lot. When you hear about the news and them going to jails. Yeah. It's a subject that we're talking about that kind of spills over is that, they somebody said, was she desperate? Yeah. And a lot of times it's like, what would interest a woman of a certain age to be with somebody that young? So that's so
she's 42. 42 has a kid, and she got kids. She already has children that are older than him, and so they just had a baby, and they met in a drive-through. He was working, and he tried to holler at her, which I don't have a problem with none of that part. I really don't. The problem I'm having, the problem they're having, because there is a problem now. His family don't want to do with her. Like, they're upset that this lady has a kid with their 8-year-old son. So the kid is not even able to see the grandmother, the grandfather on the 18-year-old side because they're not having it. They're mad. it probably won't get through it. It probably won't happen for the rest of their lives. But yeah, girl, 18, that boy just got out of high. He could still be in high school. It's too much. That would be to me like you did. I would put that on the side of statutory, or I would.
So according to today's magazine, 81% of women prefer dating younger men. They're saying that the conversations are more vibrant. They have a lot more common with younger men than they would have thought they would have had. They're saying that and 90% of the men are interested in dating older women. At least they said at least 10 years older. So the least 10 years, so anything over 10 years is good for them.
And so why is that? Why do you guys think that is? It's because for men they have the fantasy. They want to have somebody who's more experienced. They don't want to be able to be.
That's what they want. They want the experience because they already go pound town. Yeah. So now they want to be taught how to please. But they don't. But they want to be taught how to please, so they can go back to these young women and do what they need to do.
Right, but that's the reason why they normally would. That's why that situation only lasts for a certain time, because then they will leave that situation and then go with people that their age group, and be able to bring something to the table. You know,
could be. They're saying that the men are saying that younger girls really don't know what they want. They're kind of lost and all over the place. They feel like they need someone to take care of them versus them getting out and trying to take care of themselves. They show that older women are really attractive because they're very strong. They work. They want to get out there and work with their partner and not live off of their partner. So I think a lot of these younger men are probably going for older women because they're tired of these young girls out here just sitting around saying, "Oh, I want you to take care of me. I need you to pay my bills. I need you to do all this stuff for me." If they get with a partner that they seem like they're, because it's more younger men out there, not comparing to older men, but a lot more younger men out there starting to become a little bit more successful earlier in the game than
entrepreneurs,
than before, because they have a lot more access and everything than we did when we were younger.
Mm-hmm.
So they're basically saying that it's refreshing to be with someone who's on the same type of struggle that they are, because the women their age nowadays are not. They're not doing anything. They just want to look cute and go around and spend somebody else's money. You know what I'm saying? And then, like this other couple said, he's 16 years younger than his partner, and he's male, and he said he believes he has something important to offer her instead of just a massive salary. He has, the ability to want to grow, the ability to want to learn, the ability to want to become fulfilled emotionally and mentally and physically, not just financially. So he's looking for someone that he feels like he doesn't have to take care of, as far as like, oh, don't do this. That's not right. Why are we playing around? He wants somebody that's gotten over the games and ready to,
It depends, but I still think that still depends on the age of the person, because when you think about it like that, how old are these men that we're talking to that want to date older women? Because have they had children already? You can't be like 20, 29, 20, our son's age, and then date a 20-year-old, a person 20 years older than you, and expect to have a baby or a long relationship, and like I said, with a kid and family and all that, because the age difference is so much big difference. And then this man is ready to have a kid, or go at some time want to have a child, and this person is 38, 39, 40. To have a kid at that age, it's unheard of. Yeah, you can. Absolutely. I had my last one at 38. So I was Drea's age when she's 39. I had my last one at 38 as well. I'm just saying it's a difference. That's why I would love it's a broad brush when we talk about age difference. A 23-year-old to a 33-year-old don't seem that bad. But that age difference, yeah, that person is 23, they're younger, but the 33-year-old is still young enough and vivacious enough that age difference, it's like it's a difference than a 42-year-old dating a 52-year-old. They've lived, their experience is longer. You see what I'm saying? The difference in, because the 23-year-old haven't experienced as much as this now 33-year-old has done in that time span.
Well, they need to. That's the other thing they get. I think personally that just reading this stuff, they're jumping into this for the excitement of it. I don't necessarily think that they're really taking the time to sit with these people and say, hey, if this does take off, things that you would want. I want kids, or I want to get married, or all stuff like that. Because a lot of times, not all the time, but a lot of times when these older women are getting involved with these younger men, it's because they're divorced. They're done with their, like, I don't want to get married no more. I didn't have kids already. I'm over it. I just want to have fun. But then you're taking this young man's life and saying, okay, well, because I don't want this, then you have to accept it and be okay with it. But that's not fair to him because his life is just starting and he probably wants to have kids and wants to get married and do all that stuff. But by you already doing it and being older and you want to be with him, now you tell him, well, you can't have it because I don't want it. That's not fair. I don't think that's fair.
Y'all remember Tammy Roman went through that. Tammy Roman had went through that with her now husband. But when they were dating, he didn't have any children. Don't have any children. And she was ready to break up with him because she had 2 grown children. She can't him a baby. And she didn't want to. She was being selfless and saying, "Look, maybe I should let you go
and then come back."
Yeah, because I don't want to be the cause of you not having fulfilled a father duty that you wanted to have or dreamed of having. So, I'm agreeing with you. I think people should go in it. If they go in it with that, then they might not date. They might say, you know what, maybe this ain't a good idea. But when you go in it with this, with just the thing where, I just feel like I just want to have some fun, jump in the sack and do woo-wop, then that's fine. Just protect yourself, because then you don't end up like Drea. Now, that's why it looks like Drea had an agenda. That's why everybody thinks that.
But do anybody really know the conversation that she had with him? Is this maybe she wanted another kid, and the older men that she was dating didn't want any more kids, but she did. So she found someone that I don't know what it was. I'm just asking, speculating. Like, it could be. We don't really know the conversation that him and her that she had with this young man, and why she was so comfortable with even coming out with it. You know what I'm saying? And saying I'm pregnant by this young guy or whatever. It even being so, or even him being okay with her revealing it, because he could have been like, hey, I don't really want that to be that way. And if he didn't want it, then why didn't he use protection as well? Both of them are responsible for it. But if he wanted it and she wanted it, then he should have made some type of precaution as well. You know what I'm saying? So we really don't know what the conversation.
Yeah, it sounded like it was planned. It sounded like they both wanted it.
Here's what we do know. We do know. No, I was going to say, so here's what we do know. And whether they're celebrities or not, that anybody who is of age has that more ownership and having manipulation over that younger person. So she had that, she had the wherewithal. And again, she's been around this circuit celebrity lifestyle. So she knows how to manipulate, and I'm not, the proof in the pudding is in the pudding. You know what I mean? She's had other relationships that did not work out, and she ended up being the same way. So for me, outside looking in, and it's just my speculations, my POV, is that she manipulated him. And although he wasn't in agreement with it to a certain extent, and like you said, he could have controlled himself and or protected himself, for lack of a better word. He could have protected himself by using protection or insisting that she use protection. But who knows what, like you said, the in and out of the conversation. What we do know is that he's way younger than her. She's way older than him. And she had that wherewithal where she could manipulate him. And so whether it started off that way, maybe he thought he was going to come up because she was, a hot woman, that she's, her name, rang bells.
You really think it's manipulation? You really think that
I think men and or women who are older, whoever's the older person in the situation are manipulating that person underneath, because I don't
think by certain times.
Obviously he pursued her too, but who was the word pursuer? Was she the pursuer or was he? We don't know that. You know what I mean?
Well, from what it says, he pursued her. From what I read, because you remember I told you I had to look up the situation because I really didn't know much about her. So from what I read and I saw, he pursued her. So apparently he had a crush on her for a very long time. When he got the opportunity,
of course, she was on TV.
Yeah, she's beautiful. Yeah, he took his chance and he shot his shot, and she went for it. She didn't go for it right away. It was some grooming that he had to do, according to what I read. It was a little bit of grooming, but not much, of course, because he's still a handsome young man. Maybe she had to get comfortable with the situation.
The age, maybe she didn't get comfortable with the age gap.
So maybe he was able to persuade her that, hey, you know,
I don't think it was a whole lot of persuasion on his behalf.
I mean,
this is my opinion, and we're entitled to it.
But Dre is not. But from what I read, she's not a bum woman. She's not.
Oh, but let me just say this: she's not a bum. She has her own things in her own right. You know what I mean?
So
but what she has, if you listen to anything that in social media, I mean, you go back and probably look it up. She agreed to being a self-proclaimed hoe. She a self-proclaimed hoe at one point in time. She said she has changed her stripes.
Oh yeah.
At a certain point, she wasn't. You know what I mean? You know, people do change. You know, doesn't mean that she was always should always be labeled that way. But she agreed, and she actually said those words out of her mouth. I heard her say them. You know, whatever the clip that I saw, she was like, "But that's not who she is anymore." You know what I mean? And so, with that being said, people do change. A leopard does. I don't know if a leopard ever changed their stripes though.
They don't. Hey, there's another thing that we can bring up too. That's a celebrity that has the same situation. That's Robert De Niro.
Oh, a lot of them. Oh, he just had a baby.
Yes. Hello.
He's somebody's great grandfather.
Al Pacino just had one too. So, because they talked about him on The View.
Al Pacino. Okay, I think I heard that too.
That's who it was. Al Pacino.
No, it's Al Pacino. That's who it is. That's who it is. That's who it is.
But you're right though, Melinda, because they talked about him.
Robert De Niro does have a baby Gia. His baby, his seventh baby, baby Gia.
Like somebody just had a baby this year or last year, and
that's Al Pacino. Al Pacino just had his baby.
Yeah.
So I think that's these young, they young.
Now let me tell y'all. Saying all of that, there's a fun. I was looking up on the internet, and it says, "How big of an age gap is unacceptable?" Right. So it was like a fun fact, like a game or an equation to figure this out. Is like, what you do is you take half your age, add 7 years. Oh, here it is. Like, it's the half your age plus 7-year rule. That's what they say, right? So it's merely a guideline, not a universal standard. So the general rule to this game is you take half your age, then you add 7 to work out if someone is too young for you, okay, to date. So you take your age. I'm 51. I'm going to take my age. I'm going to split it in half. That put me at 26. And then I'm going to add 7 to that. That's going to put 26. That's gonna put me at 32, 33. That's my daughter's age, 32. Which I know I would not date nobody my daughter's age because that's her age bracket for her to date. I wouldn't want to date somebody that's looking at her and me.
Right.
So that makes sense. So then it says, and then that's to find out if somebody's too young. Then if you take 7 years off your age, then double it. That's how it works out if someone is too old for your age. And then that put me at somebody at 80. I said, now, all right, I know I ain't dating nobody at no 80.
Right.
But yeah, it's a take half off at 7. And then that means they're too young. At least this is what something that they came up with. Half your age at 7 rule.
I think that's a good rule of thumb. I mean, the age group, even that's still too young for me, but I mean, to each his own. I mean, at the end of the day, whatever works for the individuals involved with each other, it's for them to figure it out. We are as outside people looking in and being spectators. We can't really dictate. But I mean, people should know what they're getting into when they get into it, and whatever the outcome end up being, whether it end up being a baby, whether it end up being, one person is left heartbroken. You kind of know what you're getting into.
You knew the job was dangerous when you took it, is what you're trying to say.
That's what I'm trying to say.
Right. You know what? This has been going on for so long. I think the reason why a lot of it is like in the so so much in our face now, of course, because of social media, you know,
absolutely
out there. But I just think
going on for ages.
People, you know, out there, just like us, with our own opinions and our own, you know, idea of how things are supposed to work and operate, that we are really bringing it out to the open. I really believe, unfortunately, with this generation that we have coming in, we're in this millennium, the millennials, whatever. And
just so you know, we're three decades past millennium. So
we're 3 decades away. The millennials is our kids.
Yeah,
our kids are millennials.
Yeah,
it's 20 years a generation. Every generation is 20 years. So this generation Z that's going on right now, you know, the world that they're brought into is literally, to me, in my opinion, the world of this man need to take care of you, girls. Sit your behind down somewhere, find you somebody with some money. Don't worry about it. But then you got a lot of men that are young boys that are being groomed. What can this girl do for you? What can she buy you something? Can she? So when you think of it like that, you got both of them being told
they're doomed. They're doomed.
So who do you look for?
You sit there doomed.
Older that you think can take care of you. Now I know one thing. I will whoop my son's ass if he sits on his ass and let a woman take care of him. You're not about to do that. Now, I'm not saying that you got to slave for her. You guys can come 50-50, but it is your responsibility as a man to hold this household down if you choose to be in it, because you are the head of the household. You know what I'm saying? You can't be a man and head of the household, but still want, have that title and have that respect, but still want her to take care of you. Don't work that way. It doesn't work that way. She's not going to bust her ass to take care of you while you sit on yours. So I will, I will not, honey. I'm not in his face now, but I'll be in his face every day. Like, boy, get your life together and go out here and work so you can take care of this woman and these kids. If you have any, he doesn't have any yet, but if he has some. But I'm saying to say that they're grooming these younger kids to, on both sides to be that way. It's so crazy when you look out there and you hear people telling their sons, "Oh, you better get you a girl that can pay your rent. Like, go live with her." Go live in her shit.
And one thing we never touched on is that, well, a lot of times when we say the double standard thing, we didn't touch on as far as older men with younger women, usually a lot of them have daddy issues, right? And I think the same thing for the younger men with the older women. They have mother issues. They're looking for women to nurture them. They're looking for that, to be handheld of how to do different things that they never were taught. And so although we look at it as a financial gain, it's not so much that from a man and a woman as it is from a man, from a younger man and an older woman, because he's looking to be guided through life. Like, you know what I mean?
Right.
So it's not necessarily that he's looking for that come up, although those situations are there. It's sometimes understood going in. But for the other way around is more so that the financial hardship that a man can take from a woman, that he can bring, that financial gain to her life that she doesn't have to worry about when he's older, you know what I mean? And like I said, for men, they're just, because sometimes, a younger man is looking for an older woman so he can be taught, so he can know how to, she's putting him on game. Hey, this is how you should do X, Y, and Z.
And vice versa sometimes too. Women do that about their men. They don't want to be no dummy, and they want to be.
But a younger man is more teachable. You know what I mean? So for a woman to get, so when we look at it, in the broad spectrum, when we look at a younger woman, like an older woman, why would you want a younger man? Maybe that older man is kind of set in his way. She can't teach him anything. He's not bringing nothing to the table. And so she was like, okay, well, since you're not teachable, let me get with somebody I can get on the same level as me. You know what I mean? And I can bring him into my world and I can teach him. He will actually listen and take heed to, you know what I mean? So that's just,
because he wants it. He's eager to learn.
He's hungry for it. And he's not necessarily hungry to be taken care of. He's hungry to learn how do you get where you got, you know what I mean? And so I can do the same, Yeah.
Well, my husband's younger than me. My husband is younger than me. My older kids, my older kid's father is younger than me. I mean, we're only 6 months younger than me. I'm 6 months older than him. 6 months and 2 days to be exact.
I hate to bring it to you. He's not young. He's the same age. Okay. It's the same age.
Not right now. He is 50 and I'm 51. So no, not right now.
Come on.
I was born in 72 and he was born in 73. Oh no, we're not gonna do that.
We got him a young tenderoni, okay? For 6 months. He got him a young tenderoni for 6 months.
Yes. But my older kid's father, I'm like almost 2 years older than him. But I've always, I never liked way older men. I never did. I just felt like I wasn't mature enough to have an older man, or I don't want them asking me something. I didn't want the pressure of some grown man talking to me or looking at me, and I'm like, I'm still a kid. I never was that type. Yeah, I never was the type to date nobody 5 years older than me and above. That just never was my thing.
I wasn't really interested in older men either. I mean, I prefer someone closer to my age, maybe a year or two. Like my husband's only 2 years older than me. And that's only because, they do say women mature faster than men. I feel like 2 years, now we on the same page. So
right.
We both on the same page, same level. Yeah. I just don't know. I just didn't want the feeling of somebody telling me how I should live my life because you're older and you've done so much more than I've done. So now you're here to guide me. I'm not looking for a father.
I got a daddy and a mama. I have them both.
Because I've always been
things we can teach each other stuff. And that's just normal. You know something I don't show me, but I'm not here for you to say, okay, honey, now I'm on balance the checkbook. I'm gonna take care of it. No, I want to be able to learn how to live life too, because God forbid something happens, like a lot of times you see happening, something happens to the husband, and now the wife is like, what am I gonna do? I haven't worked, or I haven't. Well, that's your own fault because you should have got out there instead of depending on this man to take care of you and done something for them. I'm not saying anything is wrong with you staying at home and being a housewife and taking care of the house, because that's a big job too. Nothing's wrong with that at all. All I'm saying is that these young girls need to make sure they learn some type of skill, some type of,
and have your own independence.
Yeah, some type of
independence. That's all.
Take care of themselves if God forbid something happens.
Well, be self-sufficient if nothing else. Everybody, men or women, whether with any relationship you're in, you should be self-sufficient for nothing else. You know what I mean? No one should be dependent on, and nobody should have that burden either way to feel like they have to take care of the next person. Now, if it's something that you choose to do, that's different. You know what I mean?
Right.
And, but even when we say take care of, when we look at financial, most people always look at taking care of by financial, but a lot of times, some men, that's all they do is bring a financial take care, but they don't bring all the nurturing. They don't bring all the
no emotions, no.
And so with the family and the kids and all that, so the woman usually takes care of that. But when you have both people that can come together and you guys can both do that, or one have a strength more than the other, that's what ideally for me. We were just talking a minute ago. You guys talk about. I never would want somebody younger than me. So I feel like if we were the same age, give or take a couple of years, I feel like the same age, right? I mean, I can go with you, right? But I was also okay with somebody being older than me, because not so much that because I didn't have daddy issues, right? I had my daddy been in my whole life, right? But I feel like an older person can teach me some experience, because can show me something different. You know what I mean? So,
well, Candace, when you say that, are you talking about at your teenage years, or are you talking about like in your 20s? Because I'm talking about in my teenage.
In my 20s.
I'm talking about in my teenage years. I didn't date and I was already clink down in my early 20s, but I maybe in my 20s, if I didn't clink down, I probably would have. But at a teenager, I didn't do that. I didn't.
No, I was like, why did the girls like that were, like you said, in our high school going out with 22-year-olds, and they,
I didn't like that.
We
I was
15, 16 years old. It was like, wait a minute,
to date somebody that much older. I'd be like, he gonna get me. I don't know.
But when you think about it, it was acceptable back then, right?
It was. And it's crazy because even when you look at The Color Purple and those movies, where how they would bring their teenage daughter to this lecturous old man.
That family wanted to take the burden from taking care of that child, so he was ready to give it to a grown man.
Give his own. That was a mess. That's a mess. I'm so happy we're not in those times.
Right.
I like my age difference. My husband and I, we got the same kind of thought pattern. We both, hustlers. We both out fighting the work. We both out, doing our thing. So I enjoy that. I really don't want to have to teach anybody. So I wouldn't want anybody really young. Now, if you came to me for advice, not as my partner, just as a young adult, hey, I don't have a problem with helping you and guiding you. But I don't. I personally wouldn't want to be in a relationship where I have to say, "Okay, now, honey."
Yeah.
Now we got to.
We got. We got to take the trash out today.
Yeah,
trash day is tomorrow.
Every day, huh? I wouldn't want that. So and then be honest about it. Conversational wise, you guys might have some things in common, but your conversation is going to go left at some point because your experience, his is going to stop there and yours is going to keep going. So he's going to be like, well, I haven't experienced that yet, so I don't know.
He can't comment on it. He doesn't have any input.
It feels like your child fighting you back on what you're trying to tell them. Could possibly happen.
And now that resentment sets in. You know, that resentment sets in because they resentful because they can't really get engaged with you on a certain level, right? And so that's what then he's looking stupid because he's the only minor in the room, right? So, in a room full of your peers and vice versa. You know what I mean? How would you feel in a room full of his peers? Like, what would you really get? What would you really have to input into that situation? What conversation? Because it's like it's over your head. Like, what are we doing now? I ain't talking about this. You know what I mean? Who cares about what you're talking about? Because you just don't have that type of concern with certain subjects. So
right.
Well, I mean, again, personally, it's everybody's prerogative. I don't expect for everybody to think the way I think about the subject. If you want to date a younger man or whatever, like Stella and her getting her groove, that's fine with me. You know what I'm saying? I don't have any opinion about it as far as it being negative or non-negative. And I think the reason why, I know the reason why is because men have been dating really younger women for so long. I mean, look at Anna Nicole Smith. I mean, just so long it's been happening. And it's been something that people talk about, but they don't really go too far into it. You know what I'm saying? But as soon as the older woman dates a younger man, then it's like, oh Lord, everybody want to be in the uproar. Just do it for both sides is what I'm saying. If you're going to have that type of opinion,
have that same energy, right?
Yeah, have it for both sides. You don't have to like it. You can respect what other people want to do. And I don't necessarily think that they all should be, all women that older women that are younger men should be considered opportunist or whatever the case is. That's just me. I just don't think that everybody is after.
Like we've been saying, it's case by case. We can't link it all together. You can't.
We really don't know what these people talked about in their private conversations. What they, the pillow talk they had, the phone calls that they talk. We don't know what their conversation was. So we don't know where this young man's head really is as to why he was really, pursuing this woman that's older, because he pursued her. He knew she was older, you know what I'm saying, when he went after her. So he already knew what he was getting himself into. So everybody can't necessarily put that on Drea as her being an opportunist, because if he never came at her, she probably wouldn't have never been with him. Do you get what I'm saying? That's just my thought on it. I mean, she had to have a segue into that relationship in order for her to get into it. Because even if she approached him and he didn't want it, they wouldn't have it. They wouldn't be in this relationship.
It takes two to tangle, right? It takes two.
Right. So we can have our
She's taking the brunt of it, though. She's taking the brunt of this. She's taking the brunt of the issue at hand.
She should be going through something like that right now. I mean, regardless.
Well, here's the thing. I can't say that. I can't say that she should, because when you live in a life in social media, and when I'm saying this, she's put herself in those games that they were at, where they were taking pictures. And was like, before she announced that she was pregnant, she knew what she was doing. So you're a public figure, so you're going to have people's opinions on you, whether it's positive or negative. So
that's
when you
true.
say
or warranted or not, they're gonna say
it. I guess my reason for saying it, that she shouldn't have to go through that is just that if people take a step back and really look at the whole scope of things, I just think that they would see it, as them that's just being their personal opinion and not really that's how that woman is. I don't know. That's just me.
I got you. I know. I know what you're saying.
Again, this is all our own personal opinions on what we're thinking about the situation. It's not factual because we don't have the facts on what they talked about and discussed. I don't know. Again, don't know her, but I can only think and imagine that she could be a person that, if you're at this age and you're dating somebody that young, that this will be a conversation. You say, "Are you sure this is what you want, honey?"
Because she might have said that to him. She might have said that to him. Yeah, we don't know.
You're trying to trap him. That doesn't keep him from being a dummy. That doesn't keep her child from being without a stable father in his life. You know what I'm saying? So, girl, are you that desperate for money that you would have a relationship where where you will put your kid in a predicament where his dad might not want to be around him. Like, that's selfish. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So I hope that's something that they thought about, talked about, and had a conversation about, and figured out, because that would be very unfair for that child to come into this world in that type of situation. I mean,
you know what else?
huh?
I wonder what the son is thinking. I mean,
That was
it's
just
no
at the gist.
bearing.
I was thinking that, yeah.
It's no bearing really on their relationship, but I would like to know what he's thinking. Like,
He'll come out and say something.
he might, he's about to have a sibling. His stepdaddy is his age.
Well, I tell you like this. Hey, honey, Stella did it. There's the movies.
And we saw the pushback from the family. A lot of them was looking at him all sideways, except for Regina. Except for Regina King, her she was all for it.
Man.
Well, her family was looking at him sideways. So was his, because that mama wasn't, except for the father, because he was.
The mama was, because they were like the same age. That's what we talking about. You like, it's the difference when you bring in children into it, or you dating somebody that's your father or mother's age, or you're dating somebody that's your children's age or younger than your children. It's like, wait, what? Wait, no, don't date nobody younger than your own kids. Like, come on.
Let's just hope these soon to be new parents, and he'll be a brand new, parent, can, eventually get some type of support, from their peers. I mean, it might not be something that they, that we like or everybody likes or accepts, but that still doesn't mean that they are not human and don't have feelings and don't deserve the same type of love and support that everybody else do. We might not like the situation, but the situation is what it is. And as outsiders looking in, nothing we can say or do will change how they feel about each other and what they have going on. So in that respect, I respect them for that. You know what I'm saying? Just being strong enough to say, I'm going to push through it. I know people don't like it, but this is my business. And this is what I'm going to do with my life. So
and I kind of wonder what his parents thinking too. I'm sorry to cut you off, but I wonder what his parents is thinking. Right. I mean, are they excited about
I'll be like this.
Is this their first grandchild? You know what I mean? Like, are they in excitement world? Do they know, oh, well, he's going to be able to take care of his child, whether it's with a lady older than him or not? Like, it's probably not that big of a deal. We're probably making more of it because, like we said, I put my own spin on it. I wouldn't date nobody my child's age.
Right.
I'm not. That's just me. Yeah.
Right.
So.
I wouldn't either. I mean, I guess it's.
Yeah, we might get. You can take me out, but I'm not.
What you say? You can take you out.
You can take me out, but I don't think I would like entertain one day. Just to talk, and so we can see like, oh, you cool. I know I'm cool. I know you probably cool too, but like literally, like my son, you and my son what y'all gonna do? Hang out and play video games? What you doing?
I had these two young adults that used to come into my store all the time, and my team used to. They thought it was so funny because they'd be like, here they come. One guy thought, honey, he could get because he said he was half African. He was a bodybuilder. He was coming there all the time. I was about, you look here, young man. You younger than my child.
Not the young man.
Not only that, I am married. So there is nothing that can go on. Then the other one, honey, he came back so much. I thought he was about to start working for it. So I just was like, look here, it was so funny because about the whole team be like, he back. And I'm like, if y'all leave me alone with these babies, I'm about to go. Let me go out of the way. Because
I get it a lot too.
Women, I was like, is it just because I look young? I don't know. But anyway.
Right? I get it all the time too. I do. I get 30 something year olds always trying to talk to me. And I'm like,
all the time.
How old are you?
It's so crazy. So I just, thank you, darling. But I keep walking because, honey, outside of being married, I'm too old for you. I feel like I'm too old. I don't want to steal your youth away from you. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
That's just my personal thing. But I won't judge anybody else if that's what they decided to do. That's just, how it is. But this topic has just been going crazy. I guess with a lot of people, there's a lot of different shows and podcasts that have been talking about this topic. When I pulled it up, I just was like, oh my God, this is just like a hot thing right now. And so again, I'm gonna have to stay on social media, but what? I mean, the question out there, I guess, right now, ladies, is what are other people thinking? Do they think that this is something that, you know, is a double standard? Is this something that they would go for or won't go for? How do you feel, especially as mothers? You know, not too many fathers will probably mind too much of their sons dating older women, but how many mothers are okay with their sons dating a woman that much older than them? You know,
I'm not.
age, you know. So,
Yeah, no.
I mean, you know, I'll be like, ooh, Daniel, ooh, honey, don't do that. But I mean, if you did it, I would have to just be like, Lord, let me, you know, be okay with it. But you know, because that's your decision. But I don't know. I don't know. But
I remember that on Good Times, y'all. Remember JJ was dating an older lady, and he ended up breaking up with her because he was still drinking Kool-Aid and eating pizza. She's like, you ain't even in my diet no more. I said, oh shit.
Like, what's going on? What is going on? But anyway, so ladies, this was good. I enjoyed this topic for today, and I hope everybody else out there enjoyed it too.
Yeah.
We want to make sure, you know, everybody, if you can please, we're just asking you to like, share, and subscribe to the channel, just so we can make sure we keep our topics coming and we keep these live conversations going. Very soon, we're gonna have something special for you guys coming up as far as like Sunday Brunch with Black Tea. We'll go ahead and announce it on the next show. But I'm putting it out there so you can want to log in so you can see what's going on, what's about to be coming up soon, and everything. I appreciate you guys joining us for today. California Cutie, Candy, you guys, appreciate you guys tapping in with this conversation, because I was a little bit lagging. You know, with this, you guys are a little bit more advanced in this conversation than I am, because I really didn't know who the young lady was, but I did. I'm glad I did do some research, find out a little bit of information, and was able to give my 2 cents, even though my 2 cents is somewhat like 25 cents. But y'all know how that is. I talk a lot.
we take your 2 cents, your 25 cents, your 50 cent piece, whatever you giving us. We gonna take it.
It adds up, right?
Man, but we definitely appreciate you guys all. We look forward to seeing you guys on our next show. Ladies, is there anything else that you would like to say to everybody before we head out of here?
I do. I have 2 things that I want to say. One is leave us a comment, drop us a comment in Playback Gang, because that puts us in the algorithms as well. We are trying to, you know, we're trying to get out there into YouTube universe and have as many people as many viewers and people eyes on us as possible. So definitely leave us a comment in the comment section, as well as like, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. But make sure you leave us a comment, you know, and leave us, if you want us to talk about something specific, leave us a comment about that. And spring is coming, y'all. We are 2 days from spring. I'm excited about that. So happy spring to everybody. That's why I have on my spring colors, trying to bring spring here quickly, because it's been raining out here in Victorville for a couple of days. So I'm looking like sunshine right now, because it's cloudy out here by my house. But happy spring to everybody, and we will see you guys in another couple of weeks. Y'all just stay tuned. Anything for you, Candy?
We'll see y'all later. Thank you guys. Have a good day.
Hold on, Miko. My
parting words, okay?
Whispering.
Okay, so I just want to continue to have a happy Sunday, and enjoy your week. That's it. Short and sweet.
Short and sweet.
All right. Thank you.
Love.